And what I want to do first is make sure this is wet enough. Sometimes your paper will start curling because everything is wet up here, but it's not wet down there. But we're just going to try wetting the one side and see how that goes. We're avoiding our sun. We're doing them both at the same time. Yeah.
And you're wetting the whole bottom?
Yeah, I wet the whole bottom, except for the sun. I didn't wet the sun. I'm wetting around the sun as well.
Now, do you use the same colours for the reflection?
Yes.
You don't use muted colours?
Well, you could. So the way, here I use the same almost. This I muted it a bit. If it was a misty morning, then typically the shadows would be muted. If it's a bright sunny sky, then, and the lake is calm, that's the other factor, then it would be an exact reflection. You know, an exact reflection is harder to do than a muted one. So that's why I wet the whole thing, is I wasn't going to get too accurate on the reflection. Yeah. So we now need to have the colors that we used above. So if you need more colors, I need more ultramarine. I probably need more indigo. I think I'm good with that. Okay, so I have some puddles ready. And for me, most of the reflection is going to be the island and then these trees. So I don't have a lot of real estate here in order to do that. I'm going to start with the trees because this is where my paper is wettest. And then I'm going to do the island part probably after I've done these trees. Although you could, if you want, you can just, I need to make sure I have the right color here. You can just put, you know, a mark in of where you think it should be. There is an opportunity to leave a little bit of a gap. I left a little bit of a gap in a few of these spots. I wouldn't do it right under here because that's where it's really dark. But you could leave it like a little bit of light, you know how when the water touches the rock, sometimes there's a bit of light there. And I need a better brush to do this with. So don't leave the gap at this part, but when you get to this part, you can leave that little gap. And my paper is buckling a bit. And if it misses a few spots, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be perfect. So that's basically where we've said our island is. It does have a bit of a glow, but we don't want it too bright. So if you want to dye it down a bit, you can always put a little bit of purple in there and then it will subdue it a bit. right, and that's basically the shape. You can always go sideways. Mine's not big enough here. Not big enough here. Needs a little bit of purple. And we will go back into this part and define it a little bit more. Okay, so now we just need to make sure this is still damp. If it's not, you can always give it a little spritz. And I use purple, ultramarine, indigo in this part, so that's what we're gonna do. And we're only reflecting probably this much. So you're not gonna see the tree tops, you're just gonna see a mass of trees. So ultramarine and purple. And then I'm gonna wet it again closer to the sun because it's a bit too dry over there. More purple. And I'm conscious that it's gotta be wet when I do the little rays. So I'm making sure this is nice and wet. I think it helps to put a bit of pink in there. As I see some pink at the top. And then it goes into the orange. And I could probably go a bit darker here. Okay, and then look sideways. My picture itself has a lot more blue at the bottom. So I'm gonna add some more blue here. I'm just trying to match the color at this stage. Maybe some indigo. Okay. And it gets quite yellow over there. Okay, so if everything's still wet, which hopefully it is, you can now wipe out some of these reflections, or not reflections, rays. And you don't need a huge amount of this, but just enough so it kind of mirrors what's at the top there. I'm getting rid of hard edges. So I'm wetting the brush in clean water, wiping it off on my towel, wetting it again. And that's probably enough for that part. There's a bit more ultramarine going on in here, but it has to be wet enough to add that. I think that's good enough. Okay, so then the next part is just doing around our sun. And I'm gonna cover my sun again, spray around it. And now it's more yellow and orange. as I get into this part.
But there's no water on the sun again, yes?
Pardon?
No more water on the sun.
No more water on the white of the sun.
Okay.
Yes. And if there, here you'll see my orange is kind of, the paper is more dry there, so I'm just putting my brush in some clean water and softening that up. And then I see a little bit of purple kind of over here. And then my trees. Need a little bit of the spritzing. Not too much though. So first we have orange. So I have the brush dance away on that area. And then you might have to water down your green a little bit because if it's too bright, it's going to look funny here. So I'm just going to spray it one more time. And now I go sideways and I look at what's the tree shape that I have here. And just try to mimic that tree shape. I'm only halfway up the tree anyway. And I probably need some purple as part of this island. Okay. And I'm going to do the wipeout once again because it looks like it kind of seeped back in. If you have too much water in some spots, you can just pick it up with your brush. So it's not a perfect reflection, but it's close enough. I haven't done the tree trunks yet because it has to dry a bit Otherwise they will just spread out. I could probably put a few trunks over on this part. And if you do the trunks, they have to be on top of the island. You can repeat what you do at the top and bottom. And the other thing you can do is you can put some lines on your rock and then put them in the water as well. It's wetter here, but the reflection is kind of blurred, so that's okay. So whatever you do there, I'm just repeating here. We need a bit more paint to do that with.
Used on the left of the sun.
Yeah.
Tree, just a little bit left. What color do you use there?
Here?
Yeah.
That was a bit of pink and a bit of orange. Matching the color is often the harder part of these reflections. What's that?
This is why I draw people.
Yeah. A little bit here and there. I didn't leave much at all on this one. Yeah, the island goes up quite far, quite tall. In this one. Oh, I forgot the tree trunk. So hopefully it's dry enough to do that. We'll soon find out. Okay, it's a bit too.
Oh yeah, I did that with the wash, because she did that on the video. Last week. I wasn't here, so I had to wash.
Okay, that is a little browner.
I was fighting off the hurricanes. That was your truth. The two hurricanes collided in the Caribbean and turned inward. So guess where? Costa Rica.
Oh yeah.
7 days and 1 hour of sun.
Oh no.
Well, maybe we had a bit more than that. That's
7 days of sun.
No. 7 days without sun. 1 hour with sun. Like maybe a little bit more.
Somebody I know went, I think around there, and I think he said it was raining for 6 days.
Yeah.
For 10 days.
It's raining when we get off the plane. The runway in Liberia airport sunk.
Oh wow.
So then a WestJet plane came in on Saturday. They fixed it Sunday. They fixed it Saturday night. Sunday, a WestJet plane came in. Must have just missed, it must have rippled after they came up the runway, because all where they fixed the runway all rippled. So I don't know if it's open yet or not.
In Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, and they're kind of slow on their road maintenance, etc.
I don't know why they thought they could fix it in 8 hours. Like, 'cause the ground, it's been rainy season, right? So it's been raining for a month before the hurricane came.
So I think that's it. I probably will fix up a little better in the sun. It's bled a bit on the tree trunks.
Just so you know, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Well, enough, more than normal. We don't drink that much. It certainly had a bit more than what normal. I won't deny that.
Well, I think that happens quite a bit on vacations.
No, I never go anywhere and depend on the weather, because I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna have a good time, that's it.
Okay. I find sometimes it's good to take a picture and then put it up on your computer or even TV screen to see what's wrong with it. What?
That's the reflection of.
Right. I think it looks pretty good. What you love that?
Oh, I don't know.
So you can color that Yeah. So, if you didn't put a lot of detail into this, you could add a bit more detail into the top of the trees if you like. I think I'm just gonna leave mine, but if you want to, you know, add some more tree shapes, like here, probably too well defined, but you could add a bit more tree shapes in those spots. If it doesn't look like mist, in the reference photo, who's got the reference photo here? So, in the reference photo, where did it go? This way. The mist was kind of strange. It just was here at the bottom. So I put these white spots in here just by using Procreate because I thought it should look a bit more misty. It's a lot darker here too, so you could go darker. But on mine, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to stick with what I got there. And you could maybe, I don't know, make it more of an earthy color or something. What do you think? Do you think it needs more color in there? Yeah? Do you think it needs more color over here? Yeah, but look misty at the same time. So, I thought with one, maybe I'll try it on this one. We'll try it out on this one and see what we think. So if it had more color.
So no reflective ripples in the water then?
You
Is
can.
there a way that you do the rays?
No, I don't think I would do it that way. I would wet the whole thing.
Yeah.
This is a reflection, so the water actually goes behind the island.
Yeah.
Let's try that with this. I'll see if, oop, wrong color. I'm just going to put a kind of a steel blue here. Yeah. Now I wet that too much, so I'm not going to have a hard line. But if I was doing water, I would take, it's probably too wet right now, but let's say we just dampen it out a bit. Then I would, well, it's usually darker right closest to you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it dark there. Add a bit of ultramarine. And then I would just kind of go like this.
Okay.
As you get further back, they're gonna get smaller and closer
Yes.
together.
Yeah,
Something like that.
So what colors do you use there? Ultramarine and indigo?
Okay.
Yes.
And did you wet it beforehand?
Yes.
Like spritz it, I mean.
No, I actually use the brush, my big brush, and wet it down. So, not bad. The only issue we have is this was all wet, so we don't have a nice horizon line. But that's not bad. Actually, that might look better. The mist, look, it's,
Oh, yeah, I like that.
it needed the definition of the water. Thank you. So, yeah, that helps. Indigo and ultramarine.
Well, I've got birds in mine, so they've just left the water.
Okay. The other thing is to make it darker towards closest to you. I don't have a nice transition there, but closest to you. Now it depends on what your sun's gonna do too, because if you put this ultramarine and right over top of your sun, you're probably gonna get a big green there, right? But I think it helped define what the mist was.
Yes.
It definitely helped that. So, let's try it out. So this is all pretty wet on this side. It's not so wet over here. And it might be a good idea to use a big brush for this because there's a lot of real estate to cover. Okay. Ultramarine. Okay.
Looks like you got purple in there.
I didn't put purple in there.
Really nice birds. Yummy. It works well with it wet.
Yeah,
I think you've got to have your brush almost semi-dry
yeah.
to stop it bleeding. I love that.
So I'm kind of avoiding the sun area when I'm doing this.
did it so it's got some reflection from the sun.
Okay. So let's see.
It gets darker. The color is colder. You like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It probably needs another run over it or something. I'm not sure if it, maybe it's the color.
Can you put it under the camera, so, and then when we see it,
Yeah.
when you video.
Just hold it up again, just like you're doing.
You're welcome.
That's lovely. And you in it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I showed her and she said, lovely.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does accentuate.
Yeah. All right. Oh, it's 8:30.
You go to 9, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're picking up and stuff.
Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And